Hello everybody and welcome to this in-depth retrospective on the magic world of Toys to Life games. Today, we're going to journey through the rise and fall of arguably the most popular genre of the 2010s, from the groundbreaking Scoundrels Spyro's Adventures to the creative heights of LEGO Dimensions and beyond. So grab your portals and figurines and let's dive in. It all started in 2011 with the Scoundrels Spyro's Adventure. This was the first game to truly bring the Toys to Life concept to the mainstream. Developed by Toys for All and published by Activision, it combined physical toys with virtual gameplay in a way never seen before. The game was released in October of 2011 on Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3, Wii, and Xbox 360. In Japan, it was published by Square Enix and released on July 12, 2013 for the Wii, PlayStation 3, Nintendo 3DS, and Wii U. At launch, you could buy a starter pack which came with the game, a portal, and 3 figures costing you $70. Players used a portal of power to bring their toy figures to life in the game. Each calendar had unique abilities and stats, encouraging players to collect them all. And boy did they, with Spyro's Adventure selling a whopping 30 million Skylanders by 2012. The game featured a captivating story where players controlled the Skylanders to protect the core of life from the evil chaos. The inclusion of fan-favorite character Spyro also helped attract a wide audience, since when you ask someone if they're going to buy Skylanders, their first thought is going to be, man, why does this guy ask me to buy a plane? So adding Spyro in the name was a pretty smart business move by Activision, but it did upset a disembodied of old retro fans, as this wasn't the Spyro reboot they wanted. But it wasn't about them, it was about the children. To give credit to Activision, when these figures were released, they were some of the coolest looking toys out at the time, and it also had the feature to work in a game. Each figure brought a new dimension to the game, unique abilities such as fire breathing, ice blast, and earth-shaking attacks. The elemental system encouraged players to strategically use different Skylanders to overcome specific challenges in the game's varied environments. This element of differentiation was sort of a class system, with each class having locked abilities to that class. So if you wanted to actually be able to play most of the locked content, then you can probably get away with just getting a single figure from each class. But if you have the audacity to try and 100% this game, then you'll need to buy all the figures, which is not as bad as in later installments, as there's only 32 total figures. That's still a lot, especially when having to buy these now on eBay and having to pay these terrible prices. It can really start to add up. There are other reasons to buy many of the figures besides playing the locked content. The main one is there's a mechanic in the game, being how if your Skylanders die, then you either have to place a new Skylander on the portal and wait for the other Skylanders to revive itself, or if you don't have another Skylander, then you need to restart the level, which is a bummer, especially if you're not good at this game. But luckily, the game is very easy, so most people won't really have to deal with this issue. But I still feel I should bring it up. These levels are diverse, ranging from lush forests to treacherous lava fields, each with its own set of puzzles and enemies. Boss fights were a significant highlight, requiring players to use their Skylanders' abilities effectively to emerge victorious. Now, these levels are sectioned off into a numbered amount of hub worlds, for lack of a better term, which makes each section of levels vastly unique, showing off these awesome biomes and areas, with great music matching the vibe at each step. The innovative gameplay combined with the thrill of collecting figures set the stage for the franchise's success and the eventual rise of other Toys to Life games. Now, while there are many pros to this game, there are an equal amount of cons, such as how these levels are very basic, as it's just a small collectathon mixed with a smash and bash beat 'em up. Due to the systems this game released on, the graphics haven't aged that well, and it just kinda looks like stale and boring. The final big flaw is just a general flaw with every Toys to Life games, but I might as well bring it up now since we're at the first game, which is that lots of content is locked behind the figures, which is how this genre works. And while I understand that, and you can play the majority of the game with the starter pack and finish the story, there's still extra content locked behind the figures, with these figures costing anywhere between $10 and $30, with the starter pack costing $70 alone. At the same time, these prices are just garbage, and I guess that's just the price to pay for such an imaginative game, but the next one in the series wasn't so unique as its predecessor. Building on this success, Skylanders Giants was released in 2012. This sequel introduced larger figures known as Giants, which had special abilities to interact with the game world in unique ways. These figures were also obviously larger than the previous renditions of Skylanders, but what was strange is how Activision only released 8 Giants with this new game. But the saving grace is how all your Skylanders from Spyro's Adventures are completely forwards compatible, so you can just buy the starter pack again and you won't have to buy any more figures. The main gimmick of these new figures is that Giants can lift heavy objects, open new paths, and bring down obstacles, adding a new layer of strategy and excitement to the gameplay. The story expanded with these mighty heroes who fought against Chaos's new mechanical army, the Archeans. The game also introduced light core figures that lit up when placed on the portal of power. The Giants' abilities weren't just for show, they fundamentally changed how players approached each level. From smashing through barriers to activating hidden areas, the Giants brought a sense of power and scale previously unseen in the series. The new environments were meticulously designed to take advantage of the Giants' capabilities, Players will need to navigate through ancient ruins, mechanical fortresses, and enchanted forests, each filled with secrets and challenges tailored for these larger-than-life heroes. Most of the pros of Founders carry over from the last, but I feel Giants is somewhat of a letdown. I mean, it's a good game and all, but so is Spyro's Adventures. This game did almost nothing to build the fundamentals of the game and add more depth to this world. They just wanted to sell more toys, which is fine because they can, and they did. And I guess they made the right decision. And Giants sold 500,000 starter packs in the first 2 weeks, which if each starter pack was $70, then this would equate to $35 million. So this game sold similarly well to its predecessor, but Skylanders wouldn't have the luxury of being the only Toys to Life game in the market, as in 2013, just 1 year later, a new challenger approaches and changed everything. Disney Infinity 1.0 released in 2013, marking Disney's ambitious foray into the ever-glowing Toys to Life genre, aiming to unite characters from across the vast Disney and Pixar universes in a single interactive experience. The game introduced players to an expansive virtual sandbox where they could explore intricately designed worlds inspired by franchises like Pirates of the Caribbean, The Incredibles, and Monsters University. Funny enough, these three aforementioned franchises were the three that made it to the starter pack. In the starter pack, you got Mr. Incredible, Jack Sparrow, Sully, a portal base for the game, and a playset, which functions as a campaign piece. So once you place it on the base, you can access 3 unique campaigns for each character. And in my opinion, these 3 were great starter characters, each with a unique ability. Despite the promising premise and rich tapestry of Disney lore, Disney Infinity 1.0 faced criticism for several notable shortcomings. While the game boasted an impressive roster of characters, each with their semi-unique abilities and charm, the gameplay mechanics themselves often felt shallow and lacking in depth. Combat sequences and platforming challenges, for instance, were frequently criticized for their simplicity and repetitive nature, failing to offer the engaging experiences found in other titles within the genre. Additionally, while the inclusion of playsets based on specific Disney properties provides structured adventures, they often felt short-lived and failed to deliver substantial replay value. In each playset, you have to complete missions, but they're so short you barely have any time to actually learn more about the story and understand the lore before you get the completion banner. And the problem is each mission follows a pattern. You beat up enemies here, platform here, just following a set in stone rulebook, making the gameplay feel stale and boring. And what's even worse is how these missions don't even feel like missions, just mini checkpoints sprinkled in these large areas. For example, in the first area of Pirates of the Caribbean, you do about 10 missions, but these missions are so short that you don't feel like you've completed anything. The real mission ends once you purchase the boat and leave the cove. Now what was cool is that we got 6 playsets, right? Well, while it's cool, none of them feel that much fun or unique from one another. Another problem is that if you just bought the starter pack, then you couldn't play with another person, because in the game, when you play the playsets, you can't have different characters cross over. So Sully can get in the Incredibles playset, and Jack Sparrow can't go in the Monsters University playset. You're gonna have to buy even more figures, costing even more money, sending you into a steaming pile of debt that you can't recover from. Speaking of Monsters University, these playsets weren't really showcasing Disney's history. They were more used for advertisement, like how Monsters University playset isn't for Monsters Inc., it's for the upcoming Monsters University. My last 2 complaints is that this game never felt like a celebration of Disney, more like a celebration of Pixar, as the majority of the figures are Pixar, and we don't even have a freaking Mickey Mouse, the sole and most important IP that Disney has, and instead we got the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey. My final gripe is how lots of the figures feel like Echo Fighters from Smash, and how lots of the characters use recycled moves, which especially sucks since these figures are so expensive. For example, besides the goofy giant depth walk, Jack Sparrow and Hector Barbosa are virtually the same character. Both have a little gun and the same sword fighting style. This isn't the only pair, and there are many patterns which shows even more that Disney chose quantity over quality. Despite these criticisms, one aspect of Disney Infinity 1.0 that garnered widespread praise was the revolutionary toy box mode. This innovative feature allowed players to unleash their creativity and imagination by constructing their own virtual world, using a vast array of Disney Infinity props, characters, and environments. The toy box mode not only extended the game's longevity, but also fostered a vibrant community of players who shared their creations and engaged in collaborative projects, further enriching the overall experience. Annoyingly, you'd unlock many of the toys from the playsets, but it's a small price to pay to actually do what you want. In this mode, you can also use the other characters that you can buy, because guess what? Any of the characters that don't come in a playset won't work outside of the toy box mode. Yippee, I love this move. In the toy box mode, you can also use power discs, which you can get out of blind bags sold, and to be honest, I never really cared for these things. They were just boring sky changer with free car, massive waste of money in my opinion. While Disney Infinity 1.0 may have fallen short in certain areas, its ambitious vision and pioneering spirit laid the groundwork for subsequent iterations of the franchise. The game's blend of beloved characters, innovative gameplay mechanics, and community-driven creativity left an undeniable mark on the Toys to Life genre. inspiring future titles to push the boundaries of interactive entertainment. Despite its flaws, Disney Infinity 1.0 remains a testament to the enduring magic and storytelling power of Disney, igniting the imagination of players, young and old alike. Even though I hated on this game a lot, I can't ignore the creativity that Avalanche Studio took part in to create a magical experience that millions of people experienced. But still, looking at it now, this game was subpar to say the least. In 2013, Skylanders Swap Force introduced a game-changing mechanic with swappable figures that gave a fresh breath of air into what was turning into a dull franchise. Players could mix and match the top and bottom halves of their toys to create new combinations. This also gave a much bigger incentive to buy more and more figures, as the more you have, the more interesting and wacky combinations you can come up with. Or you can be that one dude who matches another Rock Skylander with another Rock Skylander, and if you're that person, then you can go take a nice walk because exercise is good. Swap Force figures add a lot of variety and customization, making each player's experience unique. The game also introduced the ability for characters to jump. You heard me right. Jumping made its first appearance in the third game in the series. Jumping. The narrative followed the Skylanders as they attempted to rebuild the Cloudbreak Islands and prevent chaos from harnessing the power of the mystical volcano. As you'll see throughout the rest of these games, the story hasn't really changed much. It's just, chaos is back, let's stop him or else he's gonna kill us all. Sorry, just my 2 cents. With over 250 possible combinations, players could tailor their Skylanders to fit their playstyle, whether you wanted a stealthy, fast-moving character, a heavy-hitting tank, or again, a rock-on-rock. Skylanders Swap Force had you covered. The ability to jump opened up new platforming elements, adding verticality to those levels. Crazy. It's almost like jumping is an integral part into any and every video game, and anytime it's not in the game, it's weird, but when a developer remembers they have a brain, they actually make sure you can jump. Wow. I'm not trying to be annoying. It's just funny to me how it took 3 renditions before they finally got it right. The Cloudbreak Islands provide a rich backdrop for the story with vibrant, dynamic environments. Each level was crafted to take advantage of the new gameplay mechanics, offering a blend of combat, puzzle solving, and exploration. All in all, this Swap Force mechanic was a great idea, and I really loved what they did, adding a new mechanic that made playing this game so much fun. This, in my opinion, is where Skylanders is starting to hit its stride. Following the success of its predecessor, Disney Infinity 2.0 launched in 2014 with a renewed focus on expanding the franchise's scope and appeal. This iteration introduced the Marvel Superheroes universe in the mix, allowing players to experience the thrilling adventures of iconic Marvel characters within the immersive world as did the Infinity. This game's starter pack is both very similar and yet very different. Again, we get 3 characters, Iron Man, Thor, and Black Widow, our Portal, and our Avengers playset. In this game, we only get 3 playsets rather than 5 like the previous, with different studios working on all 3 to keep up the quality. But sadly, the quality remained similar to 1.0. Despite the excitement surrounding the introduction of Marvel superheroes, Disney Infinity 2.0 faced criticism for its failure to address some of the fundamental flaws of the original game. While the inclusion of Marvel characters injected new energy and excitement into the franchise, the core gameplay mechanics remain largely unchanged, with combat and platform sequences continuing to feel repetitive and uninspired. A counterintuitive mechanic is that in the 3 playsets like last game, there's no crossover. But what's weird is how in the Spider-Man playset and the Avengers playset, which are both set in New York, you can't even cross over Avengers and Spider-Man characters. Like Hulk can't go in Spider-Man, Spider-Man can't go in the Avengers playset. They did add crossover tokens, which when collected allow you to actually cross over characters, but this still doesn't really change anything. Out of my 3 playsets being the Avengers, Spider-Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy playsets, my favorite has to be the Guardians of the Galaxy playset due to the unique scenery and fun level design. One of the strengths of Disney Infinity 2.0 lay in its diverse roster of Marvel superheroes, each with their own unique powers and abilities. In the mighty Thor, the agile Spider-Man, players had the opportunity to embody their favorite Marvel characters and unleash their full potential in action-packed battles and adventures. However, while the inclusion of Marvel characters undoubtedly expanded the game's appeal, some fans sulked from the absence of certain beloved Disney and Pixar characters, leading to a sense of imbalance and inconsistency in the overall character lineup. Fun fact, alongside the Avengers starter pack, there was also a sandbox starter pack, including Lilo and Merida, and 2 toy box game power discs, which were very basic, but still a fun time. I like how even if you bought the toy box starter pack, but you still want to play the Avengers playset, then there were these playset packs you could buy, with just Iron Man and Black Widow, but in my opinion, this kind of seems pointless. Despite shortcomings, Disney Infinity 2.0 made significant strides in advancing the franchise's vision of creating a unified and interconnected virtual universe. The introduction of Marvel superheroes opened up new storytelling possibilities and expanded the games to a broader audience of comic book fans and superhero enthusiasts. Additionally, the continued emphasis on the toy box mode and user-generated content fostered a sense of creativity and community engagement, enabling players to express themselves and share their creations with others. While Disney Infinity 2.0 may not have fully realize its potential, its contributions to the toy life genre and the Disney gaming legacy are undeniable, leaving a lasting impact on players and developers alike. 2014 Skylanders Trap Team brought with it the innovative trap mechanic where players could capture and play as villains using special trap crystals. These crystals added a whole new dimension to the gameplay as you could switch between heroes and captured villains on the fly. The story centered around the Skylanders capturing escaped villains from Cloudcracker Prison, including the notorious Chaos. The game introduced a new set of figures called Trap Masters who wield powerful Traptanium weapons. Both Trap Masters and Trap Crystals were sold separately in packs that you could purchase, adding even more figures and plastic to your collection. The levels were designed to make full use of the trap mechanic, with specific areas and puzzles tailored to the abilities of captured villains. This integration provided a seamless and engaging experience as players navigated through diverse environments and battled formidable foes. The trap mechanic allowed players to use the abilities of over 40 villains, each with their own unique attack and skill. This mechanic offered a fresh gameplay experience as players could strategically switch between the Skylanders and captured villains to tackle different challenges. By the fourth installment of this dominant series, the Toys to Life genre was really cooking up, with a new competitor approaching quickly and Disney starting to actually figure out what to do. Skylanders needed a big idea to draw people in, and while I think they accomplished this in Trap Team, in studying the rest of the figures, the quality has seen a subtle drop off in quality. I guess this makes sense when you've been doing this for so long and probably don't pay your developers enough. Quality is going to start taking a dip, but luckily it didn't hurt them too much, with this game still making a ton of money. In 2014, Nintendo entered the Toys to Life market with Amiibo, a series of interactive figures that unlocked content across a wide range of games. Nintendo was actually trying for once in the Wii U era, which is surprising. Their ads, while cringy, were some of the best of the era in my eyes. You can't deny some of those celebrities they got, like Steve from Stranger Things and Okay, well maybe it's just you still remember more. Amiibo figures could be used with popular Nintendo titles such as Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, and Legend of Zelda. Each Amiibo unlocked unique content such as new characters, costumes, and game items. Unlike other Toys to Life games, Amiibo figures were not tied to a single game, but could be used across multiple titles, enhancing their value and appeal. The cross-game functionality of Amiibos was a significant innovation, as players could use the same Amiibo in different games, unlocking various bonuses and features. For example, a Link Amiibo could unlock special items in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and provide a training partner in Super Smash Bros. How you would scan these Amiibos would be to place them on your controllers in a FC reader, which will then scan the Amiibo/Amiibos bonuses into the game for you to use or obtain. The Amiibo series quickly became a collector's item, with numerous figures released over the years. The community around Amiibo is vibrant, with players trading, displaying, and sharing their collection. This sense of community and the cross-game utility of the figures set Amiibo apart in the Toys to Life genre. The main reason why Amiibos is, spoiler alert, the only Toys to Life series that is still alive is because of two main reasons. One, these Amiibos aren't locked to one certain game or series. It's basically universally accepted once first-party Nintendo games. And two, no content is locked behind Amiibos. They just grant a fun or little bonus that can help you out or give you a cool item. Nothing too big that's fundamental to playing the game. Well, besides one travesty that occurred during the dark ages of Nintendo, aka the Wii U, where a small game called Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival was released, which was a horrible failure due to the need of Animal Crossing Amiibo to play a dumb party game. But other than that, Amiibo gets an A+ in my book. Disney Infinity 3.0 released in 2015, marking the culmination of Disney's ambitious venture into the Toys to Life genre. The installment expanded the game's universe even further by introducing characters and settings from the iconic Star Wars franchise, captivating players with the timeless allure of Jedi, Sith, and intergalactic adventures. This undeniably was the best Disney Infinity game that was produced. Disney Infinity 3.0 boasted an impressive roster of characters drawn from the Star Wars universe, ranging from beloved classics like Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia to newer fan favorites like Rey and Kylo Ren. Each character was faithfully recreated with meticulous attention to detail, capturing the essence and spirit of their on-screen counterparts. And finally, we got a normal freaking Mickey Mouse, which was highly requested from the last games. So I guess Disney actually listened. 3.0 gave us the most amount of playsets spanning from Pixar, Star Wars, and Avengers. Alongside the main playsets, we got three side ones, being Toy Box Takeover, a dungeon crawler, Toy Box Speedway, a racing mode, and Marvel Battlegrounds, a battle arena sim, which are all really fun. Also, another nice addition was the change in the power disc to where they were not in blind bags, but just in real packs where you could see where you were gonna get. Still a rip-off, but a nicer one, like a Band-Aid. Disney Infinity 3.0 represents the culmination of Disney's ambitious vision to create a unified, interconnected virtual universe that celebrated the rich tapestry of its iconic properties. The addition of Star Wars Universe brought a new level of depth and immersion to the franchise, captivating players with its epic storytelling and timeless characters. While Disney Infinity 3.0 may have fallen short of its lofty aspirations, its contributions to the Toy Story genre and the Disney gaming legacy are undeniable, leaving behind a legacy of creativity, imagination, and its possibilities. Skylanders Superchargers were released in 2015 and introduced vehicles into the mix. Players could now drive, fly, and dive through various terrains with specialized vehicles. This game actually had a neat collaboration with Nintendo. On launch day, you had your normal starter packs like your Xbox One and your PS4. Alongside those, you had the Wii U version, which would get you the exclusive Bowser and Donkey Kong figures alongside their vehicles. While you could buy these separately, the main purpose was to build hype and get more sales for the Wii U. Because let's be honest, the Wii U, it kinda sucked. Each vehicle was customizable and paired with specific characters, adding even more depth to the gameplay and collectability. The narrative followed the Skylanders in their battle against Chaos's Doom Station of Ultimate Doom Destruction. The game also featured guest characters from other franchises such as Donkey Kong and Bowser. Vehicles brought a new dynamic to the Skylanders gameplay, whether racing through tracks, battling enemies, or solving puzzles. The vehicles added variety and excitement. Players could also upgrade and customize the vehicles, enhancing their performance and abilities. The levels in Superchargers were designed to showcase the vehicle's capabilities, with sections dedicated to land, sea, and air travel. The integration of vehicles was smooth, providing a cohesive and thrilling experience as players switched between on-foot and vehicular gameplay. This was the game where I feel Skylanders took a turn for the worse and started to dip in quality. After 5 games, I think Activision just started making these games cheaper because they thought that no matter what, they would keep making money. And that's what sadly is true. But still, this was a bad Skylanders game. But it's not like they have anything to worry about. There's not going to be a new game series that's going to flood the market even more with classic and merchandise, right? Right? Yep, that's right. Another major player in the Toys Life genre was LEGO Dimensions, launched in 2015. This game combined the beloved LEGO building and experience with a multiverse spanning adventure. Now, in theory, this game is great. You have a game studio that makes good games. You have loads of IP. When you combine these two, you get Toys Alive game. But the real question is, does this work? Well, LEGO Dimensions allowed players to use real LEGO bricks and minifigures to build vehicles and gadgets, which could then be used in the game. The storyline involved characters from various franchises such as DC Comics, Lord of the Rings, and Doctor Who, working together to put a stop to the evil Lord Vortek. The game offered a blend of building and puzzle-solving characteristics of the LEGO games, with the added fun of Toys Life integration. This game, out of all the Toys Life games, had the best story, which is no surprise since TT Games, the developers of every LEGO game, are geniuses. But my one gripe is how much portal immersion they added, and what I mean by this is that you have to move the characters around a lot, which can become annoying, especially if you have a janky portal setup like I do. But other than that, the story is varied. The building mechanics were seamlessly integrated into the gameplay. Players physically built their LEGO sets and placed them on the toy pad to bring them into the game. Tactile interaction added a layer of immersion and engagement unique to LEGO Dimensions. The multiverse storyline allowed for creative and unexpected interactions between characters from different franchises, whether it was Batman driving the DeLorean from Back to the Future or Gandalf exploring Springfield from The Simpsons. The crossover potential was immensely entertaining. My favorite interaction is when you spawn an own Grady and Emmett from the LEGO movies, since both are played by Chris Pratt and have an interesting voice line.
There's something awfully familiar about you, Mr. Dino. I feel like we've met before.
The way this game was sold made it the most expensive Toys Life game release. Basically, you have 5 different variations of packs. You have your starter pack, portal game, 3 characters. You have your level packs with the character, vehicle, and gadget. Then you have a fun pack with character and gadget or vehicle. You have your dual level pack, which gives you a level and 2 characters, and vehicle and gadget. And finally, the story pack, which gives you a portal, some characters, and 6 missions in the IP the story pack is based upon. This game by far lacked the most content characters. While you could finish the story and play the 3 hub worlds from each character, you need extra packs to play everything else, as all the hub worlds are locked unless you have the character on the portal. I also have issues with the LEGO building part of LEGO Dimensions, though I think it's cool we can build our figures. It's a real pain to try and pack these up. Along with that, instructions are almost entirely in the game, and you sometimes need to play the game just to build said vehicle. It would be nice to just pack in instructions in these packs, but maybe they just couldn't fit it, I don't know. What's the worst part is the game should have been hugely successful, having crazy marketing like the real Doc Brown and Jeff from Community. Along with the amazing IPs and the LEGO infusion of gaming awesomeness, This game sadly entered the Toys to Life scene too late and couldn't flourish as much as it should have. The final installment in the series, Skylanders Imaginaries, came out in 2016 when the Toys to Life genre was failing, and honestly, Skylanders threw in the towel. This game allowed players to create their own Skylanders known as Imaginaries using a vast array of customizable options. In my opinion, this is when Skylanders just gave up, which shows as there hasn't been another Skylanders game since. Imaginators could be endlessly customized with different parts, power, and gear, giving players the ultimate creative freedom. The story involved the Skylanders training new recruits to stop Chaos from creating his own army of Doomlanders using the power of mind magic. Sensei figures were also introduced, providing unique abilities and unlocked special imaginary parts. The character creation system was robust, allowing players to mix and match parts, choose unique abilities, and equip various gear to create their ideal Skylander. This level of customization ensured that no two Imagineers were alike, fostering creativity and personalization. The levels were designed to highlight the new characters and their abilities. Sensei figures played a crucial role, providing training and unlocking new customizable options for Imagineers. This interplay between custom and Sensei characters enriched the gameplay experience. One last thing I have to mention is the hilariously created Nintendo Switch Starter Pack, which can now go upwards of $350+, which is outrageous, but still kind of funny. Before I leave you, I want to touch on some things that I don't think were important enough to give their own sections, but were still kind of cool for this section. The first being is that almost all of these games had a 3DS port. Disney Infinity even had a whole version of their games, which were actually a really cool idea. These versions had no portal, and it made it much more cost-effective to a novice consumer of gaming, or to just anyone who enjoyed these games and wanted to play on the go. There were also special PS Vita versions of the Disney Infinity 2.0 that was released, which gave you Black Suit Spider-Man with its corresponding playset. The Avengers Starter Pack also got a special edition with a supermassive set piece, and every single Avengers figure included in the set pack. Skylanders also had this cool Wii U Special Edition starter pack for the Wii U, giving the player extra crystals and these cool dark characters. So Toys to Life is a groundbreaking genre that apparently broke not only the internet, but parents' bank accounts. Now, if this is all true, then why are they all gone? Well, it comes down to one simple word: oversaturation. You see, with all these different games and figures, it's hard for consumers to decide what to buy. Also, by this time, most diehard fans have been collecting for nearly 4 years and have amassed a massive collection, which just takes up too much space. So to help you understand, Disney shut down Avalanche Studios, who made the Disney games. LEGO Dimensions went on strong for a few more years, till shutting down in 2017, and Skylanders stopped after Imagineers. So, funny enough, Amiibos were the only thing to survive the Toys to Life crash of 2016, and hats off to them. But before I leave you, I want to do my personal ranking of the Toys to Life series, starting with number 4, Amiibos. Pretty easy to do. This is just a boring little neat collector's item, and there's no cool bonuses you get compared to the other series. Number 3, Skylanders. This is no cool IP linking to it, but I will give props to Activision as they had to create everything from the ground up. But other than that, pretty basic level design, nothing too interesting. Number 2 is LEGO Dimensions. I love how creative LEGO made this game, and all these IPs is a dream come true. I never would have thought I could have Sonic, Batman, and friggin' Homer Simpson in one game. And this is magical and something that takes skill to create, so props to you, LEGO. And finally, number 1, Disney Infinity. This was my childhood, so it should come to no surprise that this is my favorite series. I mean, come on. Nobody's freaking Donald Duck and beat up Stormtroopers. It's kind of a no-brainer. All in all, I hope that one day all these games could be remastered into a gold edition version like what Disney Infinity did with 1, 2, and 3.0. That will probably never happen, so we might need to rely on emulation to preserve these classics. While the Toys to Life genre has brought countless hours of entertainment and innovation, it is important to acknowledge the flaws and challenges faced by each game. Whether it's the high cost of entry, repetitive gameplay mechanics, or technical limitations, each title has its own strengths and weaknesses. However, through these experiences that the genre has evolved and continues to inspire creativity and imaginations of players of all ages. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this retrospective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite Toys to Life memories in the comments below. Until next time, keep your worlds open and your imaginations alive.